What's up, guys? Josh Law here with TheCardGuyz, and today we're going to be talking about the impact of the Boltyn Armory deck, Part 2. Today is July 4th. They just released the full deck list, and let's not waste any time. Let's get into it. So, here are the cards that were printed last time. So, if you haven't watched the previous impact of the Boltyn Armory deck, I suggest you watch that. I go into detail about the two cards that we already knew about. So Saving Grace and Warpath the Winged Grace. Basically, the theme is that you're able to charge defensively and kind of set up your soul much quicker than before. So if you draw those early power turns, namely via the Vanguard, you're basically always set up to go. So yeah, go watch that video. I talk quite in detail about these cards. Let's talk about the new stuff. All right, so we got, well, Helm of Halo's Grace we've known for quite a while, but I did not talk specifically about this card, so let me quickly break down this card for you. So in a similar vein to the other cards, when this defends, you may charge your hero's soul. If you charge a yellow, you get some type of benefit. So for the headpiece, you get to draw a card. So how you typically want to use this card is when you draw a banneret, this is the best way to charge it, especially if you're going to try to keep a 4 or 5 card hand. You do get a random card, but most Boltyn decks are built so that you could utilize whichever card you draw pretty decently, because you get a choice of what to put into your soul, and you can also arsenal that. So Helm of Halo's Grace is very strong in the traditional raiding deck. In the combo deck, this also allows you to dig a little bit deeper into your deck. This also allows you to charge a banneret or a like, let's say you draw the combo but you don't have a starter. This allows you to dig for a starter. So for example, you could put like a Cataclysm into your soul to see if you can draw, you know, Bolt of Courage, Engulfing Light, etc. So you can go off with the combo. So yeah, it's a very useful card in both deck builds. Probably now I'm not entirely sure if the current Helm, why am I forgetting the name of it? Something of Balana. Oh man, that's bad. War Band of Balana. Yes, I remember now. This card very likely will replace Warband of Balana in a lot of builds. But I wouldn't say it's completely gone. I'm gonna have to try both of them and see. Bracers of Balana's Grace. This is one of the new cards that was released today. As expected, when we saw the name of this, we pretty much knew that this was going to be what it says. When this defends, you may charge your hero's soul. If a yellow card is charged this way, create a courage token. So now with Helm, Bracers, and the Warpath, the Winged Grace, we now have 3 ways to charge defensively with our equipment. The Bracers and the Boots allow very good synergy with all of the 0-cost Monarch cards, because you're able to extract a Raiden swing pretty much guaranteed. It does require you to keep 3 cards though, so in certain matchups it's going to be very difficult. Using the equipment is going to be very different in aggro, control, and disruptive matchups, and that's something that I think is going to take quite a while to learn. In general, you want to use the equipment very aggressively, but it's not always possible. So using the equipment correctly is going to be a very skill testing thing, I think. But these are both really good. They both synergize very well with Soul Bond Resolve. I talked a little bit in part 1 about why that is so good, because Soul Bond Resolve says if you've charged this turn, you can prevent a damage. So Helm, Bracers, and Warpath, that's preventing 3. Saving Grace is another 3, so that's 6. Soul Bond Resolve itself blocks for 2 and then 1, so that's 9. And when it blocks, you can charge, so that's 11 value, theoretically, off of 1 piece of equipment, which is very good. So Soul Bond Resolve is very good. Courage of Bladehold is really good. Vendel Spring Tunic is very good. But now we have another competitor for that slot. So let's take a look at one of the most interesting cards that I've seen in quite a while, because this new equipment unlocks a lot of possibilities. So, Solar Plexus is the new chest piece that comes in the Boltyn Armory deck. It is a light equipment chest piece that doesn't defend. So, of note, Prism can play this. I don't think Prism will play this, but it is possible. It says instant destroy this, banish a card from your soul. Yellow cards cost you 1 less resource to play this turn. Now, so first thing I did after I read this is I looked up every single card that I could. I did a search for Boltyn legal cards. Yellow pitch cost at least 1, and I went through them all, and I'm going to summarize some of the important synergies that I see. So let's talk about a few of them. The first one that came to mind was actually Battlefield Blitz Valiant Thrust, but when I did the search, it was in alphabetical order, and Art of War was actually one of the first ones that caught my eye. So Art of War being a yellow card, this alongside Plunder Run were very, very useful cards in very old school Boltyn. You sometimes, it's been a while since we've seen Art of War in Boltyn, but I do think it's not too bad. And yeah, so we got Art of War, probably going to banish 2 or banish 1, draw 2, and give +1. That allows you to dig a little bit deeper in your deck, and it combines particularly well with Via the Vanguard. Via the Vanguard scales very, very well from 4 to 5 to 6 to 7 cards. There were, like, for example, if they played this rounds on me and you got an extra card, that could be really good. If you had cash in, if you had the Crown of Dominion style, yeah, they're a 6-card Via the Vanguard turn is really, really good. Now, the issue with that is that in general, the more cards you charge, the less damage you do. Even though it's going to give a buff for the whole turn. So in general, you double charge V if you want to remain soul neutral and have a decent damage output. You would single charge V if you want higher damage output, lower, you're going to end with fewer cards in your soul. And also now the Stonewall Gauntlets kind of mess with this quite a bit, so you might have to double charge anyways. But yeah, Art of War Via the Vanguard, very, very good synergies together. Obviously, if you can discount Art of War and Via the Vanguard, this is pretty strong. If you're able to get 2 or 3 value from Solar Plexus, I think that's kind of what you're looking for. So if you can go Art of War into Via the Vanguard, and then play a Battlefield Blitz or Valiant Thrust, I think you're getting quite a good value from the Solar Plexus. The other card that becomes potentially interesting is Tome of Divinity. So this costs 4, lets you draw 3 cards. So if you run some amount of blues, maybe like 15 blues, you could potentially do something kind of crazy with Tome of Divinity as well, utilizing the Solar Plexus. Maybe double Tome of Divinity. I'm not exactly sure what this looks like. And you could obviously combine Art of War Via the Vanguard and Tome of Divinity. And then we're kind of getting into one-shot combo territory, so that would be quite interesting. In terms of light warrior cards, there are 3 other than Via the Vanguard that kind of stick out. We have Battlefield Blitz, Valiant Thrust from Monarch. These come in a rainbow, but there are the yellow versions. So, getting off a 1-card 4 Gogan or a 1-card 6, both pretty solid. So yeah, I mean, that's the reason they included yellow Valiant Thrust in the Boltyn Armory deck. There's quite a bit of synergy there. Also, Prayer Bellana, potentially quite good if you can Prayer Bellana into a Valiant Thrust, into Raiden, into a card, pretty decent turn there as well. So yeah, those are the stronger synergies, let's just put it that way. But there are some other ones that are potentially, you can build around them a little bit. So we got Resounding Courage. So Courageous Steel Hand costs 0, Resounding Courage costs 1. So maybe yellow Resounding Courage, see some play. We also have the 1-cost Monarch Charge cards, Take Flight, Cross the Line. maybe those see some play. The 1-cost bannerets also, if for some reason you need to play them out, can also be played now. So that's the Banneret of Courage, Gallantry, and Protection. And then we also got some spicy stuff. This is a card Chain used to use, Tremors of Arathiel. It's going to be a 1-cost 5, so pretty decent. Yeah. Anyways, I think there's lots of possibilities with this new card, Solar Plexus. We'll kind of have to dive into that. Like I said, there's quite a bit of competition between the chess pieces now for Boltyn, so and they're pretty defining cards. So if you're playing Solar Plexus, you're probably not playing Soul Bond Resolve, vice versa. We'll kind of have to see where Tunic ends up being. Yeah, there's a lot of testing to be done. Overall, I think these 5 cards help Boltyn quite a bit and unlock different styles for him. I also think the construction of the Boltyn Armory deck is quite good and a very, very good starting place for new players. It has Raiden, it has Luminas in there, it has Via the Vanguard, it has all the red and yellow cards that you'd really want, other than Beacon of Victory, maybe Cataclysm, and a few others. So yeah, I think, really, really, really solid starting place for Boltyn. Yeah, it's really, really good product. I will be looking forward to getting one from my LGS if possible. That is something else I have to mention, is that this is not like the Dorinthia versus Reinhardt lists where you'd have to buy 3 copies of Glistening Steel Badge, right? So they have learned from that and included a play set of Saving Grace, and then they went with equipment, so you just need 1 copy. So I think that's quite nice. Good on you, LSS. Okay, this has been Josh Lau with The Card Guys. I hope you guys have a good day. Take care. Bye-bye.